Today I'm going to show you how to feed your starter. If you're new to sourdough, come along. One of the things that's very important is that you invest in a small scale like this. This will help you with your measurements. But you don't have to purchase a scale, but I like to use the scale because it's accurate for me. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have besides our scale is we have a jar, and I have a little bonnet, but you don't have to use a bonnet. You could use a paper towel to cover. And then this jar came with this lid for when it's ready to be placed in the refrigerator after your starter has been established. So this will be perfect to store your sourdough in the refrigerator. I also have a spatula for scraping and stirring. And what I like to use is my King Arthur flour. It's bread flour, but you could use any all-purpose unbleached flour to do your starter, but this is the flour that I prefer to use. It works for me. You'll need some room temperature spring or filtered water, and it has to be warm. So I like to add mine, or like to place mine into the microwave to warm it up for a little while. So about 50 to 40 seconds in the microwave so it's lukewarm. And then of course you're going to need your starter that you've had before. So this is how to feed your starter. So we're going to feed this starter, which I created a month ago yesterday. So it's a month old, and her name is Lulu. So we're going to use Lulu today. So let's get started. So let's place our jar on the scale, and we're going to tar it out to 0. Make sure that you have it on 0. And then we're going to do a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio. So we're going to feed 40 grams of starter, 80 grams of water, and 80 grams of your unbleached all-purpose flour. So Lulu is ready to be fed. She is very hungry. So we need to scale out our scale to grams. Make sure it's grams and not ounces. So now that we have it on 0 grams, I'm going to place 40 grams of starter. Then we're going to take our filtered or spring warm temperature, room temperature water. We're going to zero out the scale again. And we're going to add 80 grams of water. And you want to be careful not to do it too quickly because you might have too much water into your starter. So we have 80 grams. And at this point, I like to stir my starter and my water together and mix it well so it's incorporated. It's going to have a milky consistency, Just stir it in there. Okay, take your scale and zero that out again. And we're going to take our all-purpose unbleached flour of your choice, and we're going to give it 80 grams of flour. It's a little too much. That's 80 grams. We're going to take our scale and remove it to the side. And we're going to stir our flour and water and starter together. We're looking for a pancake muffin consistency. It's not, you want to make sure that all the flour is incorporated in your jar. It's going to have a thick texture. And I will give you a close-up look. I think I'm going to add a little tab more of water. At this point, it is a thick texture, but let me see if I can show you a little bit better. Doesn't want to grab, but this is what I'm working with right now. So let's add just a little tab of water. And stir that around. That looks great. So let me bring you closer so you can see. Okay, here we are. And here is the texture. You're just gonna make sure that you have no dry flour in your mixture. But this is the muffin consistency that you want to have. It will be kind of thick, stays on your spatula. In the next step, we're going to mark where our starter has left off. So I'm scraping the sides to clean the glass so I could see it better. Just kind of scrape it. You just want to scrape the sides. I don't know if you can see through the jar, but we're going to take a marker and then we're going to mark the feeding time and the ratio. And I'm going to place the name of my starter here so I don't get her confused with my other starter. So this is Lulu. So let's take a marker. And also, I want to tell you a very important thing. You're going to be feeding your starter in the beginning. When you start your starter, you want to feed it every 12 hours, and you want to place it on the counter and at a room temperature of 75 to 80 degrees in a warm place. Now, you can place it in the oven with the light on, but you need to be careful that you monitor it, because sometimes it could overheat in your oven and it will dry your starter out. This has happened to me. So in the beginning of starting my starter, I struggled with it looking like it's active, but that's normal. Some days you're not going to be active and some days it will be active, but don't give up and do not throw your starter away. Give it time. By I think the 12th day or so, 13th day, I finally started seeing my starter grow. It finally started rising and then falling, and rising and then falling, and I was having bubbles on the side, bubbles on the top. It was hungry. You could tell that it was hungry and it was due for feeding. So don't give up. Don't throw your starter away. Keep going. You're going to also, during the time of feeding your starter, in the first 5 to 10 days, you really can't use it to bake with, the discard, because it's not good for you. So you have to wait past the 5 days. I would wait 10 days to use the starter for any kind of baked goods like cookies, brownies, bagels, things like that. But don't give up on your starter. If you think it's dead, it's not dead. It is active. You just can't see it. So let's mark our jars. So this is where my starter is at after feeding. It is 11:30 a.m. on the 15th. I'm going to mark the date, February 15th. And this is Lulu, so I'm going to put Lulu's name. And right below my line, I'm just going to put, I fed it 40 grams of starter and 80 water and 80 flour. Just like this. This is how I like to feed my starter and how I like to mark the jar. So we're just going to place it on, cover it with either a paper towel and a rubber band if you don't have one of these bonnets. I bought these on Amazon for, I think you get 4 for $9 or $10, but Temu also has them for $4 for 4 bonnets. So if you shop at Temu, you can get it there for much cheaper, but it does take about 10 days to receive, which Amazon takes 2 days if you have Prime. So let's cover her up and place her off to the side because she's fairly new, but my starter's not, but your starter is. And you want to wait to feed her every 12 hours. This is very important and crucial that you feed when your starter is fairly new, younger than 10 days, 12 days. You want to feed it every 12 hours. Once it gets like 15 days, you could feed it every 24 hours. That's what I did. But for now, you're going to feed your starter every 12 hours. Set it in a room temperature, warm area, off to the side on your counter, or even inside a cabinet. I actually placed mine. My oven was too hot, so I was baking my sourdough starter, which was really bad. I had to actually start over because it was hard as a rock. So you have to make sure that your oven is not too hot, and you have to monitor it. Maybe you can turn it on for a couple hours, the light on for a couple hours while the starter's in there, and then turn the light off. That might help. but you could also place it in a dark, warm cupboard area, maybe somewhere where the microwave is at, above your microwave, because the warmth from the oven in the microwave, if you have a microwave combo oven or an oven above, below your cabinets, place your starter in the cabinet in that area. That would be a great spot for it. So I hope this video has helped you in some sort of way. I hope you can follow and like my video, and we'll come back for the next feeding so you can see where it's at. Actually, I'll show you after I've fed it today how much it has risen. But like I said, my starter is 1 month old, so it will show probably to here. But for the new starters, it might be maybe to here. It all depends on how active your starter is. Okay, we're back, and it is 3:11 in the afternoon, and we started our starter at 11:30 this morning. And I just wanted to show you really quick, I don't know if you could see where the starter is, right about here. This is where we're at right now. And it has been, what, a few hours? And Lulu is growing. So that's our update. We'll see you in a few more hours to give you our last update. Okay, welcome back. We are going to check on our starter today. And this evening it is 5 o'clock. And the last time we checked it, it was 3:07. And at 11:30 we fed our starter, and this is where we were at. We came back, we checked our starter at 3:07, and this is where it ended. And now it is 5 o'clock, and our starter has doubled in size. So this is where we're at, the very top, for 5 p.m. So this is how much we had from here to here, and now it has more than doubled in size. So from this point to this point, my starter is ready to be baked with. My starter is a 1 month old. So, but for the newer starters, it might be a little slower in rising. But I just wanted to show you the results on the starter on each step, and hope this has helped you in some way. And I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. So if you really like this video, please share and like, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.